Welcome to Percent of Change, Section 5.8. When something goes on sale or a price is increased, as in a markup price, how do I determine the percent of change? What is the percent of the original value? All right, well, we need to remember that in order to find percent, we have to divide. If I'm trying to find the percent of my test, I'll have, oh, not in pen mode. I'll have however many I had on my test, 17 divided by 25. 17 out of 25, I'll divide those, I'll get a number, and that will be my percent. So now, it's the same thing when I'm trying to find the percent of change. I want to find my original price on the bottom. How much was it out of? Just like my test, how much is my test out of? And then what was the change? Did it go up? Did it go down? And by how much did that happen? To have a percent of increase, obviously the price is going to go up. And for a percent of decrease, the price is going to go down. So let's jump into a few examples here. One of the many fluctuating prices in life is gas. Gas is a price that changes quite a bit. So let's look at this. Here it is on Sunday. It was $3.26. On Monday, it was $3.04. So what can you tell me from $3.26 to $3.04? Well, one of the first things you're probably going to tell me is that it went down. So I know that my price went down. So it's going to be a decrease. The first thing we need to do is figure out how much did it go down by? How much did it decrease by? Well, to go from 326 down to 304, we're going to subtract these two numbers, and we're going to find out that it went down by 22 cents. That's the price, that's the quantity it went down by. In order to find the percentage in which it went down by, I need to take the 22 cents that it changed and divide it by the price that it started at, or its original price of 326. So, oh, my calculator doesn't exist here anymore. Okay, so let's take our calculator, because I don't expect you to do that in your head, and take 0.22 and divide it by 3.26, and I get 0.067. Here's where you need to be cautious. This is a number. This is not a percent. So to find the percent, I need to move this once, twice, and I get 6.7% decrease, a decrease of 6.7%. Let's talk about eggs, because the price on egg here is pretty easy. This $1.99 is pretty close to $2, and this 99 cents is pretty close to $1. Well, what do I know? The price went up or down? From 2 to 1, it went down, so I know it's a decrease. And I know it's half. 2 down to 1, that's 50%. So let's see if it works out that way. The change in price from $1.99 down to 99 cents, the change in price is $1. And the percent, well, I need to take how much was the change, what did I find here, and divide it by the original amount. What did it start at? $1.99. So we're going to take our calculator, we're going to take $1, we're going to divide it by 199, and look at that, 0.5025. This equals 0.5025. If I move the decimal twice, I get 50%. Yeah, we have a little change here, but this wasn't exactly even either. So there we go. That makes sense, that decrease of 50%. Go ahead, hit pause, try this one on your own really quick, and see what you find. Alright, so now you are back, and let's see what you got here. Mine isn't working as fast as I wanted to, so let's try this one more time. We might as well not have hit pause at this rate. 319 minus 2.79. There we go. Might as well have done it in my head. I would have been done faster. And my pen's not working. Here we go. 40 cents difference. And then I have to take my 40 and divide it by my 279. So 0.4 divided by 2.79 is 14.3. So I find 14.3%, and that would have been an increase. All right, sorry about that. If you hit pause, that should have went a little bit quicker. All right, so on your homework assignment, we had some pretty easy problems. They gave it to us like this. Some teachers like to teach no over O. No. And gee, that's just your percent of change. I'd like to hopefully tell you a little bit more of what's going on. But if you remember this, this is all it is. Take your new price minus your original and divide it by your original. So 10 minus 6 divided by 6. 10 minus 6 is 4. 4 divided by 6 is going to give me roughly 66%. That's about 2/3, 66% here. Increase or decrease? Well, that's why we did it this way. 6 up to 10 would be a positive increase. That's it. Nothing else to it. Find it here from 80 to 55. If I follow that no over O, n minus O divided by O, if I follow that, I'll have 55 minus 80 divided by the original of 80. So in this case, I'll end up with a negative 25 over 80, and I cannot do that fast in my head. 31.25. And this would be negative. What does that negative stand for? Well, decrease. 80 to 55 is a decrease. Some of you might be wondering why, if I look at the calculator, this says 0.3125, and I write it like this. Remember that every percent is over 100. So if I had 20 over 100 for 20%, I would write that as 0.20 because I'd move that decimal twice. So if on a calculator I had a number of 0.75 to make the percent, I need to move it back this way. So that's what I'm doing on some of these problems. Yet again, same thing. We're going to take it, figure out the difference. 15 minus 6. 15 minus 6. I'll have 9 divided by 15. This is going to be the same as, let's see, 3/5, which is going to be 60%. What you need to notice here, though, is however it's a decrease. So that would be a negative or a decrease of 60%. So next thing you might have to say is an increase or a decrease. Same thing here. You're just going to do the same things over and over and over again. Watch out for a problem like this. If I started off at a temperature of 13 degrees, think about your thermometer. Here's 0. I started off at 1, 2, skip a few, 13. And now I'm going to go to negative 15 for my new one. 1, 2, skip a few, negative 15. How much did I travel? Well, I traveled 13 here, and I traveled 15 here. So altogether, I traveled 28. That's how much I changed. And I started with a 13. And what else you need to think about is if I was to subtract that, that'd be 13 minus a negative 15. So we'd have the chunky plus there. And you can finish that out. I'm not too worried about that. Same thing here. You can finish those out. Word problems. Just be careful when you're doing a word problem that you're paying attention and that you're answering the question that is asked. Last year, the yearbook club at Wesley Middle School sold 174 yearbooks. This year, they sold 200 yearbooks. Find the percent of change. What was the original amount? The original amount is what they sold last year, 174. What was the difference from this year to this year is 26. Divide them out. I'll do that one really quick. 26 divided by 174 is 0.149. 0.149. And then remember to turn it to a percent. You move it twice. Once, twice. There you go. I'll just set these up. I'm not going to solve the rest of them. We'll just set them up. This is a pretty easy lesson. And when we did it in class, the the class picked up on it pretty quick. On average, Kentucky has 45 inches of rainfall per year, but in 2006 it had almost 54 inches. Find the percentage change. What did I start with? What was my original? Well, we're comparing it to the 45. What was the difference in this year? 9 inches. So in this case, the difference of 9 inches to 45. This one's pretty easy. This would reduce 1/5, and that would be 20%. Is it an increase or decrease? 45 to 54, that would be an increase. There was no need to round in this particular problem, so we're okay. All right, now that was part 1 of the percent of change and the very simple part of percent of change. If you are struggling with tax, tip, markup, and discount, find the second part of 5.8. Thank you very much.